Hey guys, how's it going? So yeah, we're streaming tonight rather than tomorrow, as I said at the end of last night's stream. Just because Becca's travelling away on Friday, so I kind of want to make sure that we get tomorrow night just to kind of do our own thing. So yeah, streaming tonight instead. I'll be working primarily on the braids. Obviously, these front views aren't going to look very different at the moment, just because we're working primarily on the top, sides, and back of the head. So we do need to do quite a bit of work to kind of get the front working, but for now I'm working on the back. I'm going to continue to work on the back. So this is a render that I just did. This is the stage we're currently at. We got quite a few issues. Hey Ian, how you doing? We got quite a few issues with coverage, and this groom feels a bit too solid, so I've got a feeling my width is a bit off. I'll have to check against some reference, and then need to create some more gaps between the clumps. But yeah, so maybe width is what we need to change mostly, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get my reference up because I need to check. Let's get pure ref open. Load recent, and then as normal this one. So let me check the render with this width. Looks like the hair might be a bit too... No, actually no, the hair width might be actually okay. Obviously got a ton of guide work to do. And this looks like it's been pulled up a lot more actually, now that I look at it. Please don't tell me there's another braid on the side though. There might be another braid. Fuck. Okay. What do I do? That is the question. Because I've only just noticed that this hair's being pulled up, which would suggest it's in a braid. Which is annoying because you can't really see a braid here. I'm going to have to play about with this quite a lot. Obviously I need to change the density, I need to get the hairline in general working because currently it doesn't. What I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of ignore that for now. I'll have to see what I can find out there. I guess it does make sense that she's got hair being pulled up on the side, so maybe we have to rethink how we're doing the whole side of the head. Or I can just be blissfully kind of unaware of it and move on. We'll see. But yeah, so we've got this at the moment. Which I guess it would make more sense to have another braid, but that would mean we need more braids down here. And I'm not sure I want to do that. I kind of like having this half hair thing. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. But yeah, so... Although I guess I could... Alright, so I might have to do another braid on the side here. Which is kind of frustrating. That means we have to re-figure out what the hair's doing. Let's model a proxy and see if we like the way it looks. Let's get Maya open. So, I guess the only thing we can do here is just create a curve. So let's go into hair to hide that. Yeah, I think we're gonna need another braid. That's clearly pulling up and it's not high enough to be this braid. So maybe the braid starts like here. So let's set this as an active object. I don't know why I always call it that, as the live object. So create light, not lights. Create curve tool, CV curve tool, and let's just do something like that. So according to the way this stuff's going, it should really be pulled back a bit tighter, so let's follow that a bit more closely. So how'll that work? You camera tools, just drag you. So the hair's still going up at this point, so it looks like it's around there. So let's pull that a little bit tighter up. Let's just go into the attribute editor, move this guy over. Right, and then free transformations on that. Just going to pull these out, just to get a little bit of variation from the other side. I'll save that soon. It's one of those cases where I think it is best just to go through what actually might be there. So it looks like I was probably wrong on my first guess. Obviously need to completely sort this out as well. I think hair loose needs to take over on the hairline, to be honest. So we'll have to do a bit of work on that, which would make sense because it's thinner hair for the most part. So I also need to fix the clumps back here because they're pretty repetitive and kind of bad looking. Hey Becca, realised I need more braids. Oh, no. I noticed something in the reference from the front. I'll show you when you come back in. Right, so we need dual screen, set this to panel outliner. I know I've got an outliner here, but this is so that I can close the viewport. So we get both of those, close the viewport, go into effects. I'm also just going to delete the history on those actually. Go into effects, go into N hair and assign a hair system. Now I can open the viewport again. With the hair system selected, I need to go into N hair, assign paint effects to curves. And then with the paint effects selected, I need to turn on draw as mesh. Now I can kind of go about just setting up my braids. So hair system, set this to 3. Set the clump width a bit higher, although we do need to set the follicles. So get that guy, braid you. There you are. Get that guy, braid you. Turn on subsegments. Why is subsegments only affecting one of them? Did I not braid it? Apparently not. There we go. So, back into the hair system. Don't need any thinning. We do need to increase the hair width. And then we also need to select these guys, convert them into polygons. So let's just go convert paint effects to polygons. Quad output, that's all good. apply. And then with those meshes selected, don't delete history as I was about to do, and then Lambert 1. There we go. So our braid setup. That's just a case of tweaking settings. So clump width needs to go all the way to the top, and then hair width looks like it is about right, so clump width needs to go generally down, and then we're going to need to rotate these as well. So let's grab this follicle, which is, which side is that? You know, it doesn't matter. Going to override dynamics, it's that side. Set clump width to 1, clump width scale back up to the full amount, and then we can just change the clump twist offset. That was actually way off. I'm thinking that was correct width wise. Same thing to this guy. Pull this up, pull that across, and find a good twist offset like that one. It's good to me. Then all we need to do, go back into the hypershade, not hypershade, the hair system, and let's reduce that clump width. So that doesn't really look right to me. I feel like I do need to actually add a little bit of clump width scale. Which is apparently doing nothing. Oh, because it's set to an override, isn't it? Okay, so let's go into these guys and just change this per side. So it just like winds down a little bit. And let's do the same on the upper follicle. So, is that more accurate? I guess it can be. So we need to section the hair quite a lot. Maybe it's not going far enough forward. So we only need to section the hair so that it pulls back from like this point forward. Which, yeah, it means we need to pull this further forward. Which needs to do with the curve itself. So let's do that. Right, okay, so we can keep the hair system, we just need to get rid of the paint effects. We need to keep the curves as well, so let's delete those. Delete those. Alright, don't delete those. Just delete the follicles themselves. Grab these guys, drag them out. And then let's just select the first CV. Bring it a bit further forward. Something like that. Fix you in the process. And then do something similar for this guy. It's easier to pull them back than it is to pull them forward. And the reason I say that is because pulling them forward, you have to kind of add more braids, whereas pulling them back, you can just shrink the whole thing and no one will notice. So something like that, that's too far forward. So it's like directly below this point, really. In fact, let's do that. Directly below there. And this one is a little bit off. There we go. Delete history on those. Assign the existing hair system to them. And then again, let's assign paint effects. Cool, and back into follicles. And in this case, they should braid correctly and all that sort of stuff. We just need to do the override again. But that's fine, like that's no big deal at all. Draw as mesh. Then select you, modify, convert paint effects polygons, reassign Lambert 1, and let's get that follicle. Which one are you? This one. There we go. Right, and then we need to do the same for the other side. Enable dynamics. That now goes a bit further forward. Let's let the other follicle ones rotate it slightly. I think that will allow us to be a little bit more accurate with this. So get ref cam, get high res ref cam, and let's get render cam. Yeah, it looks like it'll be about right. We can see the hair pulling up here. That might be pulling up to that point. We can just move it up if it's not quite right. Cool. So that means we need to redo our side groom. Hey Ghosty, thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Oh, right, so let's delete the history on these guys, because I'm pretty happy with where they are. We can delete everything else now. No point in having it crowd the scene. And we're going to need to do some modeling, but first off I'm going to need to change the side groom quite a lot. Hair loose is going to have to do a lot more work now, I think. Which is okay, because I guess it's, out of all the grooms, it's the one that looks the most interesting. But we need to have it do even more work, which might not be ideal, to be honest. So let's go into hair tied. That will show itself. We're going to need to hide that, but show the guide, so I have a general idea of where it is. So this is obviously not going to be part of it anymore. So let's go into this. And then where's my Wacom pen? There it is. We're going to need tools. So it's the solid, solids pressure, turn that off. And that sets white. I'm going to set this to white and just hold control to paint out. So we need a little bit of room to pull the braids up, just like that. And we're going to need the same on that side, so I think we just generally undercut it, didn't we? So let's just follow that along. Oh, actually, is that guide a good reference? Oh, it's not. That is a shame. Well, that makes the guide work a bit simpler to read, at the very least. So let's save that. So we need to obviously kind of hoop it down a little bit. Obviously with this braid being a lot lower than this one, or this kind of ponytail thing being a lot lower than this one, the hair's not going to pull up the same way. So I'm not going to try to mimic that. Thanks Becca. Hey Francisco, how you doing? Let's do the same with all this. In theory, that shouldn't change what the hair's doing in the slightest. This guy needs to be moved down, but I think I'll achieve that by adding a guide here and let interpolation do the rest. I can fix whatever I need to fix by hand after. And then you're obviously way off. Let's show where the hair is. Yeah, so hair's ending around here. So let's just, oh well, we've got a guide there I guess. So let's just do that. And let's do that. Cool. Then we can delete you. And delete you. And now we just need to push and pull these around. So annoying that we didn't notice that braid until literally just now. Something like that. Needs to turn lock lamp off. Let's grab you. We're going to need to do something similar, I guess. Something like that will do. I should probably sign out of Steam. Anything else I need to sign out of? I don't think so. So this is going to need to hang a bit lower, isn't it? Where's the hair stop? Hair stop's way before that, actually. So let's delete you. Grab this guide and just droop him a little bit more. I will be adding more guides now that I've kind of reduced the area, because now it's simpler to kind of see. I can have a bit more control if I want to. Just have that droop a little bit more. It'll feel heavier if I do that. And we got some weird guide stuff happening here. Shit, what did I just do? Cool. Let's hide the hair for a second. Alright, show the hair so we know we got no guides in this area. Let's just do that. Okay, so I guess now we can just go in and sculpt that to be vaguely where I want it to go. Normalize. Pull that around. Normalize again. I feel like we're going to pull that down a little bit because that's a little bit too much. It's a little too much extreme now. So let's grab all these and kind of pull that down just a little bit. It doesn't need to be major. Just something like that maybe is even enough. There we go. That feels a bit better. I quite like having the asymmetry of having it wrap into this thing. And I'm just gonna go into hair loose for a second here, because this is bugging me a lot. These top ones, strictly speaking, should actually match the hair above them. Not perfectly, but they should be close to it, you know. Like even that might be close enough. Like this one especially, I think he's kind of taking the piss a bit, to be honest. So now it feels like hair that's dropping out rather than hair that's hovering nearby. That's a little interesting bit of texture. Although I am debating adding some of these like actually in the hair and just use it like a straight clump scream. So if I did something like that, I really pulled it in, because that will give quite an interesting effect. Like, it looks like it's still tied in somehow. Let's do something interesting with you. Let's do that. There we go. And the symmetry here is killing me, so I'm going to have this do that. Have you do that, I guess. Put it out a bit. Scoot that up a lot. Normalize it. Do something like that. Why not? There we go. Feels a lot less repeated in that area now. Yeah, that's better. So we got more braids to do. Great. I'm looking forward to this. So we're going to need to do a little bit of braid modeling. It's also from the front, it's going to look like we've actually gone backwards in this stream, so maybe I'll have to work on the front a little bit. Oh yeah, side note, so something I did after the stream last night, so those of you who were here in the last stream will hopefully remember that the region map doesn't let you change the p-text resolution, which is a bit of a nightmare. The reason being is because at default PTEX resolution, I was getting like visible artifacts in this. So ignore what I'm about to do for a second. What, sorry? Thanks. Thanks, honey. But yeah, so if I go into here, so ignore this for a second. The default is 5, I think. So apply, accept, hit paint, and save. So what I was getting, if I go back into the modifiers and turn off clumping for a second, was like a very visible, like, I don't know how well you guys can see it in stream, but it's like a quite a visible stepping kind of thing. Because the region map itself is quite blocky. You see it here. It's just kind of go down, across, down, across, down, across. It's not nice, really. It's too low resolution. Here you can see it a lot, actually. And the region map by itself, obviously you guys now know I've found a way around it because I just did that. But the region map itself, you don't have the control to change the PTEX resolution. So what I realized you can do is if you plug it into whatever attribute you want, which has, you can use an expression editor. If I go into this expression editor, if I connect the region map and then go into the expression editor for it, I can set this up as a map, read from the actual location that the region map is going from. So it's literally reading the same map, and I can save over it. I can just change this to a much higher resolution, say 30. Apply that, accept it, get it visible, and then just save. And now it's a lot more accurate. Granted, because I built the guides on a somewhat broken region map, some of the guides have crossed into the wrong region now, but luckily because we did that kind of color thing, we will be able to see them. So right here, for example, you can see this blue one that's kind of edged in. So we just need to delete him, really. But yeah, so you actually can change the resolution. It's just not as simple as it should be, really. Other than that, I think we're quite lucky. So that guy's become red. But now, I guess what we can do is just repaint the region map to include those hairs. So let's just go into this blue. Let's do that. And then let's get this guy in the blue. Let's need this guy in the blue. That's a bit red there, that's not good. A little bit red there too. Need that guy in the blue. Something like that is fine. Are there any others that are kind of switching colour for no reason? There's a red there that needs to change. Set this to red. Just make sure we're getting all the guides for each groom. That is green, so that's good. That needs to be blue. So let's go light blue. Do something like that. And that looks like it's working now, so I can just save this. Save it back out. Oh, and here's the interesting thing. So I actually do need to continuously save it from the paint effects. So where is it? Yeah, so I just need to keep saving it from here. Because this is the one with the correct resolution. So let's just go in, save that from there. There we go. Now we've got the full resolution. Don't know why that one's still counted as blue though. So let's do this. Hit pink. It's still a little bit too low resolution, I guess. Save textures, and this is still going to save over the real map. There we go. So the parting map will still update, but we're just painting it via the guide color rather than via the correct place, which is a little bit messy. But strictly speaking, what I should have done is when I created the map, I should have just set it to a high resolution to begin with, but you don't always know what resolution is going to work for you. So there we go. So that works fine. I've got a little bit of a light blue here sneaking in. Light blue. Save textures. Save you. There we go. yeah, so that's kind of the workaround I've ended up going with. And now we need to regenerate our clumping because we've changed the region map. And you have to do it every time annoyingly. This will take a little bit longer to save now because the region map itself is higher resolution. But it's not the end of the world. Cool, there we go. So now we got more accurate region maps, which is a godsend. So I'm gonna need some extra guides in yellow over here. Let's just do that, I guess. I'm not too precious about the guides for this sort of area, to be honest. So this guide is going to need to be pulled in. Is there any special setup when prepping these hairstyles with braids for simulation? Well, you're going to have to rig it. You're not really going to be able to simulate a braid like this. Not easily, anyway. Not in a way that's worth doing. Oh, I've got a blue guy here. Let's go to you. There you go. Save that. Save you. And then let's update the modifiers again. So I guess you'll get to see what these are doing now. So you'll see how this clump will suddenly swap direction. Assuming it's one of the large clumps. It might be one of the small ones. Yeah, there you go. So then when I update this one, these two will stop crossing over, and that way they'll jump back over. There you go. Now we've got a cleaner parting. So I'm going to need to add some more guides down here. I also need to prep this mesh, because I need to do all this stuff to get it feeling right. So I guess that's the next thing for us to do. So let's get started on that. So, how do I want to do this? So I'm going to put this one over here. Grab you. You're going to go in the middle. I'm going to grab you, put you over there. And I'll have to like make this braid a little bit better by hand. So this is due to go under, this one's due to go over, so let's just grab that. Do something like that, just so it feels like it's braiding. Leave that like that for a second. Go do the other side. Although I could mirror the mesh. And just, yeah, I'm going to mirror the mesh. Alright, I'll work on one side and mirror it over. So, you need a much longer radius than that, something like this. And then what I'm going to need to do is delete pretty much all of this. Same for you. I can add them back in. That's not really the worry here. There we go. Turned a little bit too far. There we go. And what we're going to have to do is like put that in to generally where we want it to be. Squish it down a little bit. Rotate that out a little bit. And it's just a case of matching this mesh. Although it looks like our braid is intersecting the head slightly, so I'm going to push the whole braid out. Let's just grab the whole thing and pull it this way, just a tiny bit, not much, just enough for it to stop intersecting too much. Pull it out even more, why not? There we go, something like that, so it can sit up on the little platform of her. And then I'm going to need to grab all this stuff back here, so let's just do that, do that, 4, let's just pull that over like this. So it's also got a little bit of room. That's a bit better. Just gonna save this. So who's watching at the moment? We've got 9 people. It's a bit more than we usually get on, because I haven't posted this stream anywhere over than my personal page. It's a bit more than I'd normally expect this soon on in the stream. So who's watching at the moment? I saw that Brett and Scott liked the post on Facebook. Are you guys watching, or? Do something like that. And I'm going to move that up a little bit, I think. In fact, let's move it back. There we go. We will be fixing kind of this mesh. I mean, to be fair, the majority of the work we can do by measuring and split, then edit edge flow. And that will do enough work to make it feel not too pressured. And we can just edit edge flow that guy, edit edge flow him again, and just do that until you've got a nice smooth cone into the head. And that's good enough for a hair mesh, to be honest. I'm going to delete all this stuff back here, because I don't need him right now. Next one, let's grab this guy. Do something like that, pull that in. That'll do as a first pass. And let's grab you. Do something very similar. I'm just going to pull him down here. And then let's delete this and this because they're not helping. And then we're going to need to grab these back verts and pull them back a little bit, so we're getting hair from a larger region. There we go, something like that will do. Let's just do some multi-cuts. Those two will do. Edit edge flow. I wish there was like an iterations, because I know you can just do the same one over and over again, but it doesn't really work. It just kind of relaxes it into the same place, and then relaxes it into the same place again. Kind of working. Which one needs to be on the bottom right now? Is it this one needs to be on the bottom? No, that's about right. This is why I don't understand people that actually manually braid when grooming. Like that just, it seems like such a pointless exercise to me. Although I do a lot of pointless exercises in my grooming, so I understand the appeal of just doing it because you can, but at the same time, braiding is a step too far for me. I'm not sure why anyone would want to do that. Need to delete you and you for this to work properly. Edit edge flow. There we go. Much better. And then I'm going to edit edge flow this guy. And then do that again. And we're going to need to manually help this guy along, I think. Because edit edge flow isn't able to figure that out. Grab the vertices, pull them back. Do something like that, I guess. Cool. then I'm just gonna duplicate this guy, set U to -1. Delete your history. Modify free transformations. Is there a shortcut for free transformations? Feels like there should be. Alright, so those are perfectly symmetrical right now, which we don't want. So I'm just gonna go in, do that, and just do just something. Like, it doesn't need to be great. I just need to do something so it's not identical on both sides. There we go. Are you doing that for tube grooming? Yes, I will be tube grooming this. At least I'm pretty sure I'll be tube grooming it. There's a very slim chance I'll manually convert it to guides and build it from scratch, but very, very little chance, to be honest. I will be using these geometries to generate guides no matter which method I use, because you obviously can just grab an edge line, convert that to NURBS curves, and you're sorted. But I'm not 100% set yet on exactly how I'm going to do everything. So let's turn off that. Select all these guys, combine them, delete the history on that, and then is it still in the layer? It's not, so add selected. Cool, so bring you over, close you a little bit. So I'm going to need to fix my region map again. So I think what I'll do is I'll use the guides that I've already got as a general placement. Like that I can use that as you know, the line. So let's go into XGen. Let's go into our region map, which I need to remember to do in preview because of the way I've got the resolution set up. What color are we going to go for? I think I'm going to go with green here. So let's go with green. And just go halfway with you. Let's get rid of the red. I'm going to do the same further back as well. A little bit of red there as well, sneaking in. That. That pink isn't getting pushed through the whole way. I'm going to hide my groom for a second. In fact, no, I'm not. Why would I do that? So this side, I guess green again would be ideal. So let's go green again. And the reason I'm picking green is because it's the furthest color I can pick. Although red would also work quite well over here. Yeah, I should go with red actually, just to differentiate it from the other side. So all I'm going to do is just paint over this with red. Let's go as close to halfway between these as possible. Cool. Save this texture. Save this region map. Cool. And it's going to make the hair disappear in the regions just because it just doesn't know how to generate hair that has no guides, and because of the way the region maps are, these don't have any guides. And then I need to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do up here. I am kind of debating separating this top front section into its own groom, just so I can dedicate the tied groom to doing this stuff. Right, so guide work. Let's put a guide right there. Put a guide right there. Nope, there. Put a guide right there. Right there. Nope, right there. Guide right there. Guide right there. Cool. And just get some guides around here. Cool. So correct all these by hand. It's not the most difficult grooming, so it's pretty quick just to shift these into place. Especially since back here, no one will really be able to see what's going on anyway. Let's just pull him up to there. Although you could argue you really don't need this guide right here. I'm gonna try to put a guide directly below that one. I'm gonna change the region map actually. I've not given red enough space there at all. Like, you do want to split it vaguely in half, like, because that's not even close to half. That's a lot closer. Let's just do that. Save these. Cool. So that means I can delete these guys. I can delete change you again. Bleep. There you go. Save textures. You can get a new guide. So save that texture. Save you. That should go blue. No? There we go. So you need to switch directions. So we're going to need a new guide around here. It's still red. Okay, we're going to need to do a little bit more painting over here. So let's just pull you in completely. I think this is a P-text resolution thing. There we go, we got one that's blue now, that's good. Can delete you as a result, and then just angle this guy like that. That's the thing, you can like legitimately proxy some of this stuff by just rotating the guide that you have and then adding a little bit of a kink to it. So doing something like that will be good enough to start seeing the shapes that we need. I guess that one will be better. That. That. Obviously I'll be going and re-sculpting all this stuff, but let's just get it. It's quicker to just rotate and scale on this sort of stuff, I guess. It's something I didn't do much in the last stream, but like looking back, I kind of wish I did, because that would get it a lot quicker. Just do something like that, and then I'll sculpt the rest of that into place. Scale you. Again, sculpt the rest of that into place. And then we're going to need to go in and paint a mask for this. So let's paint you as white. And what I'm going to do is just cross this line ever so slightly. And the reason I'm going to cross the line is just so that the parting isn't too perfect. Like, unless they've gone through with a comb to pick out individual hairs, the chances are that this isn't going to be perfect. There will be hairs from both sides of the parting that cross over, which is why at some point, what I'll end up... that's interesting. Which is why at some point I'll be going through and adding, like, so here's yellow and here's green. I'll add some green dots on this side and I'll add some yellow dots on this side just to have, like, random bits crossing over. In the case of Houdini, there's literally something like that built in. Oh, I realised what I did. I had these selected and rotated them. Where did you need to go? Just going to delete that. I'd rather rebuild these guides, although that one's pretty easy to tell where it's supposed to go. Just do something like that. Then we're going to need a guide around here. Yeah, I accidentally selected quite a few guys, didn't I? And scaled them earlier. It's no big deal though. It's not the most complex guide work. It's actually really simple guide work for this sort of stuff. It's just a lot of it. But there's nothing difficult about this stage. There'll be lots difficult about the actual grooming stage in terms of like making the, well, not grooming, technically this is the grooming stage. But the modifier stage, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Let's get some more. So, sculpt you. Show this. Save texture. Save you. There we go. Let's just grab this guy, do that, pull him in. And all we're going to need to do, I don't know why these rotate so strangely. There we go. Viewport just had no idea what to do apparently. So let's get a guide here, angle you up, scale you in. And again, I'll be sculpting this by hand after. I'm going to copy that shape. Copy. I'm going to save on that this as well because I've got a feeling it's going to crash. I would say I've got a sixth sense, but that's just part of being a CG artist, is knowing that Maya's going to crash at some point in the near future. Go for something like that. Paste guide shape. Turn you up to go into there. Paste guide shape. Do something there. Paste guide shape. And then just put a guide in between those. It should figure this one out on its own, to be honest. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to need the loose groom to do a bit more work in this area then. This front section is going to be so complex to get right. I'm not looking forward to working on that, which is probably going to have to be in this stream because the progress renders are looking very bland because nothing's really happened from that front camera for a while. I'm going to try to mirror these over and see how well it works, so let's save the scene. And let's just select all these red guides at the bottom. And let's try mirroring that. Yeah, close enough. I'll accept that. We're going to need another guide for the pink. There's no way that knows what to do. Once we get to this stage, it really doesn't need to be perfect. Like at this stage in the braid. And the braid model itself should probably be improved a little bit, but I'm not expecting it to be immediately visible what needs to change, so. Twist you that way. Do that. Do that. There we go. And let's just quickly fill in the mask in that area too. So paint pretty much white for all this stuff. Cross over that border a little bit. Cool. Save textures. Save you as well. So, what can we do to make this all feel a bit more filled out? I'm going to need to save these maps again. I know that much. There we go. Right, so we're going to need a guide there to help this area out, so let's just do that. I think for this sort of groom, I'm very much a fan of adding guides where you need them and nowhere else. So if I see an interpolation error, I will kick in and do a bit more guide work. If I don't see an interpolation error, then I'm going to ignore it completely. Even if I know there's not enough guides, if I don't see an issue, then it's not worth working on. Why is there two of them? There we go. Something like that. So I've got a feeling density needs to go way, way up. I'm not sure how to handle it. Let's try turning off clumps and just see if it's clumps that are destroying the coverage. Nah, it needs to be denser than that. What's the width set to? Width is okay. It's a little bit thin, but not really. So I think density needs to go up. Let's go 180. Should I go even higher on the count? Let's go 240. Let's set you to be a bit lower. I'm going to try render from this angle. Somewhere like that. Preview. I'm just going to grab a drink while this render starts, guys. I'll be back in a moment. It looks like it's got coverage. That's vaguely an improvement, right? I'm really not too keen on this. Partially because it's intersecting. I need to fix that. I need to quite neatly tuck it behind this for it to work, I think. But also the clumps aren't reading. The density's doesn't feel great, to be honest. Even if it is technically correct. Which is really annoying, because strictly speaking, all of these densities should be identical. Because it's just different parts of the head. Like, it shouldn't be anything causing this area to need more hair than this. But it really does. This feels like it's too dense already. The widths are identical. So, I don't think it's down to that. This top section feels horrible. Let's get the ref up. Well, that feels like, obviously this is super clumpy because there's some kind of product in the hair to sweep it down like that, but like that just, ignoring the clumpiness for a second, this feels a lot lower density than mine. Although this feels solid, so maybe I'm completely off. This is quite soft feeling. And the high res isn't overly helpful. Part of me wants to make a groom just called fur head hairline and use that to do all this stuff at the top and in front, because I need to get all this soft stuff at the front, and currently that looks nothing like what I need. Maybe I do need a separate groom for that. Obviously there's a certain amount of, density map that needs to happen at the front over here. I think it is worth separating that because the hairline is just so unique. Yeah, I'm going to create fur hairline, or fur head hairline, to get that. So I guess we need to go into braid tide, which we're actually currently on braid root, sorry. Show the guides, and then show the mask, and I'm going to just draw around these. So let's just do that. Something like that. This is giving the roots just a little bit of space. Not a huge amount of space. But enough. Is it going to need its own region map? Or is it worth sharing the existing one? So save textures, save that. So I guess as a groom that makes more sense. Having a groom dedicated to tying the braids in and really embedding that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I guess it is worth separating that. And also that looks a ton better. And obviously the hairline's completely fucked. But having a separate groom for this stuff at the front is going to help. It's just a case of figuring out how the fuck does it connect. So there's 8 people currently watching. Chances are there's at least 2 new people. So everyone who's not new here will understand that I am an incompetent fool. And most professionals are, and that's okay. But if anyone's watching this and you're new to CG and you're worried, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, or even if you're new to the industry and you're like, oh, I'm a junior, I have no idea what I'm doing, or whatever, be aware that everyone else feels exactly the same. But I have absolutely no clue how I'm going to do this correctly. Absolutely no clue. I'd be lying if I said I did. That's kind of part of the fun. It's going to be a nightmare. So for now I'm going to duplicate these guides. Let's just select all the guides that aren't directly next to I guess this one counts. Anything else? Oh, you. Kinda you. And I'm going to convert these into curves. So guides 2 curves, set it to delete, and delete those. And delete your history on them. So I'm going to need to make a separate groom for this guy. How am I going to do this? How? Granted, these guides are absolute shit. So I'm going to quickly add some more guides to the existing groom. So let's just get a few guides in here and really tie this together. That is fine. Let's get a guide there. I'm just going to pull that in. Let's just follow the path of this guy. So something I'm going to have to do at some point is actually thread some of these guys along the actual braid, like not the whole thing, but you know, like at least through one link. Because otherwise it won't feel embedded, like it'll just be there. And that's not the feeling we're going for with this. That needs to go down a bit. Something like that. That's fine. So that's completely hidden. We're going to need this guy to do something completely different. In fact, actually, is that... Oh, that's like right next to that guy. Okay. So then we're going to need a guide, let's say, here. And you can go also back into that thing. This one can be a lot shorter though. I'm just going to pull that back, normalize it a few times. Something like that. I guess we can do the same to this guy. He doesn't need to go that far. Normalize that a few times, then just fix the MCV. And then let's just put a guide immediately after him. And it's actually gone to the right place. Let's just force it to go a little bit better. Something like that. At some point, the amount of guides we'll be doing in this region will get pretty intense. If I want to get that kind of triangular clumping type thing, either I can do it with guide clumping or I can do it with a bunch of guides. I think I'd rather do a bunch of guides in this case, because I do prefer having procedural clumps wherever I can. I find that guide clumping is really hard to get to look natural. Like, you know, the groom we've got at the back, for example, loose, it feels interesting. It doesn't feel natural in the slightest, and I put part of that down to the fact I've got some guide clumping in there. Not a huge amount, it's being broken up, but there's still some. And I think that's part of the issue. So let's just show this groom. Yeah, so we're gonna need some more. See how this clump now is like working so much better than the others because it's actually bedded in. I need to do the same for all the others. It's like here, this doesn't make sense. So I need to go through and put guides in all of these places. So let's put. Why did I do that? Let's put a guide right here, and that's obviously going to want to go along the middle one. So let's just do that. You can't rush a sort of groom, to be honest. I mean, I'm kind of rushing it, but I think like on a professional level, I'm rushing it. Like I'm not sacrificing too much to get what I want. I guess for the average person who posts, like who's quite new to grooming, they'd think, "Oh, I'm spending forever on this." This really isn't forever. Like, you have to be a really fucking good groomer to do something like this quickly. Like really, like genuinely quickly. It's just such a kind of intricate shape. Even though I'm faking a lot of stuff, I'm still having to make sure that I at least follow the meshes to some degree. Because if I don't, it's not going to work. So just, I guess the moral of that is like, don't be afraid of spending a lot of time on this. Because you're not going to be able to do it quickly. Like if you think you can, then you're probably skipping too many things and it's going to be obvious that it's faked. And again, mine's probably going to be obvious that it's faked to some extent as well, but if you're rushing it, it'll be more obvious. So let's get a guide right there. And you can go that way, I guess. Let's put it in there actually. But no, let's go for this one. If I had a reference of this exact photo shoot from the side, I'd copy it, but annoyingly I don't. Ten people watching, cool. Did someone share it or something, or? A message. Ooh. That's cool. Becca sent me, I don't think it's a drawing. This. Is that a cosplay? Or is it a drawing? Or is it both? I'm not sure. I think it's a cosplay with a drawing on top, right? That's really nice. Yeah. Oh, by the way, like I'm not the type to kind of ask for people to do things, but if anyone wants to share these streams, I think that'd be quite appreciated. Just because, like, I do these streams. Obviously, I'm doing them for free. I mean, that's what streams are. It'd be nice for kind of people who are interested in this stuff to see it, to kind of learn generally from it, and also ask questions. Because I think the more people ask questions, the more comfortable I'll be in these streams generally. Because I'm not the most charismatic person in the world. So if I find like holding a conversation like completely with no input, it's quite tricky sometimes. I'm not complaining that you guys don't talk, because some of you do, but still. It'd be cool if we got a few more people in to ask questions. As I've said a million times, that like to everyone who's kind of been reoccurring through these streams, it really is quite nice to see you guys returning. I wouldn't watch me multiple times. Let's add a guide. This doesn't feel right. Something's got to change there. I'm going to get rid of this guide. I didn't select any guides on him, so no, I didn't. I'm going to put a guide right there, and I'm going to pull him in to this. This is where the high guide counts start to come in a little bit. I'm going to have to do quite a lot of, to get this stuff where it feels like it's being pulled. You do need these angle changes, like these really sharp changes in direction. If you don't have that, it's not going to feel like it's being pulled, it's just going to feel like it's flowing. And that's not what you want in this case. You don't want it to feel like it flows into it. That's not what a braid is. At least this type of braid. I forgot the name of this type, but it's very tightly wound. I've noticed, like, when I was like kind of researching into this, like, I've noticed a lot like kind of more Afro hair. I don't know what the correct term is for it, basically, but like African style hair, you know, the type that's a little bit thicker than Caucasian hair, and generally a little bit higher frequency noise. I've noticed that braids have to be super tight. I don't know if that's because the hair itself kind of lends itself to being pulled tighter. But if you want to capture that feeling, you're going to need to do pretty substantial guide work. Because you just can't escape it. Although I think braids of any type, you do need a lot of guide work, but I think specifically with Afro hair, it does seem like you need a lot more, just because it's so much tighter pulled. I'm going to get rid of that guide, because that doesn't make much sense to be there. And I need to make sure I'm not selecting guides on the other side of the head. I've got a feeling I'll be deleting guides left, right, and centre without realising. So let's get a guide right there. Interesting, but not in the slightest what I want. Something like that. And also I'm going to pull the roots backwards a little bit. And that's just to close the gap between them, just a tiny, tiny bit. Something like that. So this one is almost working. What are you part of? Is that red or is that... Let's check. Okay, so that's blue. That should be red, really. So let's go into region map. Let's go into red. Save that texture. Save this texture. Cool. And then I'm just going to go in, set you back to A, apply, accept. Cool. So let's just get a guide and put it right there. And let's fix that because that looks awful. I think part of the issue is this guide as well. He's not really doing the right shape, but we can forgive that for now. Normalize the fuck out of it. I can smell like barbecue crisp, like really strongly. It's making me really hungry. I don't even like crisp, it's just making me hungry. So how's everyone's week going anyway? We're halfway through it. It's almost the weekend, which doesn't really mean anything anymore, but one step closer. What happened to you? I think these braids are a little bit too high. Not much, so I can probably mask it a certain amount in the groom. But they are a little bit too high, I think. Feels so much better. This side needs some more work. And then I think once I've got these kind of cleaned up a little bit, I'm going to start on the hairline, which, as I've said, I'm terrified of. Because it's such an awkward groom. Partially because I don't have any good reference. I've got that front angle, but it doesn't really tell you anything. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, hair. That's all the information you're going to get. Let's just normalize that. Strictly speaking, that guide should be pulled in. So I'm just going to do this. And let's put a guide there, and you can be the one that continues as normal. How's your summer? Any travel or vacations? So obviously the other weekend I went away to Belfast to go see my girlfriend's family, see how they're doing. I haven't been able to see them for a while. They're really nice. But we were going to go to Portugal, but that's changed. So we're not doing that anymore. But instead what we're going to do is in about 3 weeks, in 3 weeks I'm gonna be traveling for a week. I'm gonna go to Belfast again. We're just gonna rent out a little house, spend a week at the seaside. Which I guess that's news that's relatively important to streams. In 3 weeks I'll be disappearing for a week, but over the course of the next few weeks, because Becca's gonna be away, I'm gonna be a lot more active on the streams. Partially because I'll have more free time, and partially because I'll have literally no one to talk to. So it's kind of it serves two purposes, I guess. Is it sad? Yeah, kind of. But we'll see. But yeah, so I think like starting, I don't know if I'll be able to on Friday itself, because that's the day that Becca leaves. So, but on like Saturday I'll have more time, because I won't really be doing anything on the Saturday. On the Sunday I always like to play video games with my little brother. There's quite a big age gap between me and my little bro, so we don't get to do much together, especially since he's in a different part of the country from me. He's literally just turned 10. There's a really big age gap between us, so we like to spend the weekends playing games together. The only game that we both have is Forza Horizon 4, and he doesn't really like racing games, so I just kind of have to help him along sometimes. But yeah, so Sundays I always do that. I always dedicate a couple hours to that. And it's because I don't really get to do much with my little brother anymore, which is sad, because he's quite cool. Let's put a guide right there. Kind of debating playing a bit of Call of Duty Warzone again as well, because I got COD like back in November or something, so a really long time ago now, and played it quite a lot. And then when Warzone came out, I got to play it for like a week and a half, and then I just started getting busier with work and started doing live streams and all that sort of stuff. So I stopped playing. But now I've got a proper microphone and all that stuff, I might get back into it. So if any of you guys have Call of Duty and want to play Warzone, send me on social media. I'm pretty sure most of the people who watch this have me on social media anyway, because it's the only place to post it, so it's where you'll find it. But if any of you want to play, just let me know. It'd be quite fun to play with some people I stream with. Although a little bit of my free time will evaporate pretty soon, just because I'm still talking to Henning from Flip Normals. We're just working out kind of the final details of the groom tutorial series that I'll be making. It's still not guaranteed to happen because no contracts have been signed, and I've sent him like a few drafts of the plan. There's literally just one part of the lesson to figure out, and I need to do a fair bit of research on my end for it, because it's something I'm not overly familiar with. Like, I know the basics, but I need to get familiar if I'm going to teach it to any extent. So, which is literally just that I need to compare XGen Interactive to XGen Core as part of the course, just to say here's why you use this and why you'd use this and when. But as I said in the last stream, I'm quite biased against XGen Interactive, so I don't want to be biased in a paid course. That's just not fair. It's not honest to do something like that. So I need to do quite a bit of work to learn XGen Interactive and really be familiar with it, so I know that I'm being fair when I say what it can and can't do, or more what it's better and worse at. But once we've got that figured out, like how we want to tackle that lesson, then I'll be starting recording the video series. It'll probably take a few weeks to record, just because I do so much other stuff, like the streaming and all that sort of shit. I say I do loads of other stuff as if I've got hobbies, but at the moment I don't, because everything's closed. Playing guitar doesn't take up that much time of my time. You got Instagram? I do, but it's basically dead. It's just Mike Couchy. I haven't posted anything since Dragon Boy though. I still haven't updated it with Rowan Creature. Still haven't mentioned FKA Twigs on there yet. I don't keep it up to date just because I hate the fact that you can't just post on it from desktop. Like, I really despise that because I don't want to send stuff to my phone just to put it on Instagram. I'd rather just take the uncompressed file from my desktop and put that directly. It's too much effort to get, like, you know, non-compressed links and then download it, then re-upload it. I know there's probably a hacky way, but I'd rather just be able to open the website. So I tend to use Instagram more for like family-orientated stuff, like if I'm out with friends or friends. I don't really have any anymore, but yeah. Gotta love the lockdown. I do look forward to it being over and seeing people again. Wonder how many, and I'm not saying with me, but like, wonder how many like friendships have been permanently kind of neutered by the lockdown because people haven't saw each other for however long. Granted, you know, of all the things going on with COVID right now, friendships being neutered is one of the smaller issues. People dying is much more important. But still. Today's chat has a really depressing tone, I don't know why. I'm pretty happy in general. Is that? Oh, I thought that was purple for a second though. Right, so we got a bit more. That's starting to feel a bit tighter now, which is good. We need a few more guides over in this area. I think this parting isn't clearly defined enough. This one's feeling pretty good. This one's feeling good enough. This needs cleaning up. This one needs a ton of work. So, more guides is the answer to everything at the moment. More guide work. Let's get a guide right there. Oh, perfect. That literally went exactly where I wanted to go. I'm just going to extend it a little bit. And that's it. That's really satisfying. That doesn't happen very often. Why are these ones doing so well? There we go. Need to get a guide right there. There we go. That's feeling better. Need a guide here, and this one's fine, I guess. So let's just get a guide there. And we're gonna need something here too. So this gap and that gap. So let's just go right there, and while I remember, right there too. I don't know why that guide's not knowing what to do. And then you. Do that. Cool. You shouldn't be doing that. Let's go into the region map. Let's go into green and just pull that forward a little bit. Save textures and save you. And I've updated quite a few of these maps, so I'm just going to go in and update the update this as well. Save you. And they save you as well. Getting this new error, zeroing a pixel in map since all points were disqualified. Not sure what points it could be referring to though. I'm going to need a guide right there, aren't I? Apparently not. Oh, that's just a weird clump. Let's put a guide right there. That is probably enough, to be honest. Cool. I've just noticed I've got this random straggler here, which is probably from hair loose. So let's just go into the map. Yeah, there it is. Set it to black. Anything on the other side? Nothing around? Nope. Save texture. Save view. There we go. Tide. Oh, tide is that back one, that's fine. Braid root. Hello. We added another braid. Added another braid. This doesn't feel right at all, does it?
My mum didn't realise that I come home on Saturday.
Oh yeah?
Or Friday. She thought it was Saturday.
Oh really?
And I was like, oh, I was like, what are we doing on Saturday night? And she was like, well, you get in 11, so not very much. And I was like, Mum, you know that I get in like earlier than that.
What? I need to adjust these guides because they're a bit straight looking. Let's normalize this.
How much underwear to bring with you? Because my mum and dad obviously washing all the time.
Yeah.
But it's still quite hard to tell.
Streams got more views than normal today.
Hey!
Yeah, Becca. Braids are getting embedded in now.
There's no talking, I'm very disappointed.
What?
Oh, what was the difference? What was the problem that you said?
This braid didn't exist.
Oh, I thought that.
It's very slightly visible from here. Like if I hide everything,
you can see the bumps. You can see the bumps.
You can't see the bump actually. What you can see is the hair travels up,
oh,
and that wouldn't make sense. Like you actually can't.
Yeah.
Like if I hide the model and the groom, and apparently you can't see a braid. You don't even see a bump, but you do see hair traveling up, and that wouldn't make sense without a braid being there.
That's weird.
And I think, strictly speaking, this makes more sense hair-wise than having it end higher up. So, this needs to be a little bit more slack on the outside. Let's go to Tide, and then I need to stop putting off the hairline work.
Yes, I think it will make it better. But
Yeah, so I've got to create a new groom for the hairline just because it's too complex otherwise. There's just too much going on, to be honest. Do we need to droop that more? Droop.
and a droop.
Let's go to modifiers. I'm going to turn off clumping 2. What contribution is that giving? Okay, so I'm going to go into clumping 2. I'm going to add some stray clumps. So let's go down to noise. Okay, let's load an expression for this. So load expression. This one needs to be noise magnitude. Cool. And then all we need to do, so it's between 0 and 0.25. So that was where it was, pretty much. That's actually a little bit stronger, so I'll reduce that. And then we can add some strays. The strays, strictly speaking, should be on a lower frequency of noise, which kind of complicates this a little bit. Tracy 12. So if I go into frequency is 1, I'm going to need to make a script that does well, an action expression that does frequency as well. Let's temporarily set this to 0.5. Actually, kind of prefer how that feels. So I might just stay with that. Let's increase the maximum. And let's increase the minimum as well, actually. That feels a bit better. And I'm going to need to fix wherever that hair is coming from. I think it's going to be coming from here. So that's the largest gap we've got. So let's just add a guide right there. Yeah, that's exactly where it's coming from. Cool. That's the one thing I really love about Action, is because it applies the same type of interpolation to the guides as it does to the hair. So if you place a guide and it's doing something weird, that's because the hair in that area is also doing something weird. And that's such a helpful tool. Like, incredibly helpful tool. I can't overstate that enough. Randomizing the guide color is also really helpful, but that's something that you can do in quite a few different ways. As in, like with different tools, a lot of them seem to have ways of doing that. Cool. Let's update that. That feels a bit healthier. So I'm going to do a super quick render from here, I think. Save my scene, and I need to do an alt save. I'm just going to go toilet. Back in a second, guys. You back in more stuff back up?
Yeah, I'm just putting stuff in that I know I need to go in. Would you lift the scales out to the hole?
Sure, give me a sec.
Everything. I think it would just hold me.
You know, it's a kilogram button on the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've used it before for these, but I'm sorry, the thing is
Yeah, I just didn't know if you were converting pounds to kilograms when you were weighing it. I'm going to close one of these doors, it's a little bit cool. Oh, hello.
It's a cat though.
Baby spider.
I thought it was the cat. You made me excited. Or
No. Baby spider.
maybe spider.
I was going to get rid of him for you. Luckily, it's only a little piece.
This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, on me. Have my fingers. Sorry guys, we'll be back to the stream in a sec. There's a baby spider and Becca doesn't like spiders.
I don't want baby ones.
Yeah, but a baby one becomes a grown-up one. There we go. There you go. I'm back. So I think the braids are starting to look a little bit promising. The partings look too large, and there are ways we can fake that. I'll try out two of them. I need to fix this area. In fact, I need to generally make the ends of these braids a bit longer, because they're not going to work otherwise, I think. So let's close that. Because we're using clumping, if the hair's really short, then the clumps will look wider because they don't have as long to kind of thin out, really. Also, someone just found me on Facebook and is liking all my stuff at the moment.
Right, remember that 64.1?
64.1?
Yeah, and then...
Can't you just put that on it?
No.
So 13, basically.
That's good. That's 2 kilos off. And I've got a pair of jeans to put in and a shirt, so it's probably around.
Very rude. There's a guy called Shirdy who's currently going through
Liking everything.
and liking all my stuff.
It's really cool.
I mean, by all means, like, you know, it's positive attention, but wondering why. Why did they find me and why now? If you're watching the stream, then thank you. Don't want to seem ungrateful. I'm just confused.
Why?
I feel like I need to rebuild some of these curves to a higher CV count. Do something like that. More of the same with you. So that'll help a little bit on the appearance of the clumps. And then looks like I need to extend the parting map a little bit. Apparently not. Why is it so confused then? Okay, it's not guide clumping, of course, it just needs to be extended further. So I should put a guide right there. Huh. That's weird. Cool, there we go. And let's just pull this guide in as well, because he's going to cause a few issues. A little bit more. Why you do this? That's why I do this. Okay, yeah, forgive me. It's not really doing what I want, but it's probably just noises that are doing that, to be honest. So what I'm going to need to do to some extent, I don't know how well this will work, but if I turn this off, oh, so it's not actually clump 1 that's doing it, it's clump 2. Yeah, so it's clump 2 that I need to paint out. Just towards the back here. Oh really? Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into one of these random places where I've got a map connected, copy that, go down to modifiers, and go into here. I'm going to create that, and then call this clump02 mask. Space. I like to have space before all this stuff. Close it down. I need to Do that. CO2 mask. So it's fur head braid root, yep, that's fine. And I'm gonna hit apply on that, so that will create this. That's fine, the path doesn't exist, that's to be expected. And then I guess all I need to do is put CO2 mask here. So.
Some clothes out of that and put it in my backpack. I only get my laptop and stuff in.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's just more for you know, in case something goes missing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But I'll do that on Fridays. You know, probably not.
Oh, that's the issue. Apply. There we go. So now what I need to do is just paint this in. I'm glad it started with a default of white. So let's go and paint black back here. And just as a test, save that. Then save you. And there we go. So now we've got clump 2s kind of paintable wherever we want them. And we've still got percentage working.
That's my phone.
Do you want me to call it?
Yeah.
Oh, where's my phone?
I'm charging it.
Oh, okay. You can use my phone to call. You know the code.
I had it for 2 seconds then.
Let's just do this.
Did I pack it?
You pack your phone. That may be a slight issue for you. Ow. What was that for?
Phony.
Abuse. Save this texture. There we go. So I'm going to need to add some guides in this region because that's clearly not working. So that should be green. Why are you going that way? Yes, almost no sense. Excuse me. Right, so we got this far. I guess it's time we should start on the hairline because there's so much to do. So let's select the head. Fuse just go.
I don't like.
Do I need to go sort out the fuse?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool.
I just want to find my phone.
Can you pass me mine?
Ah.
Why haven't you called yours on
I
mine?
did.
You can't find it?
No. I hope it's not in the suitcase.
No, that'd be kind of silly.
Didn't like that. What?
What the hell, blue?
The whole.
Oh, the bathroom.
Again?
We have no lights in the bathroom.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah.
I still have these phones. If I can find mine.
Alright, shut up. We'll find it. Quit your bitching, we'll find it.
That thing scared me
So-
because my phone was ringing, I couldn't hear it, and I thought someone was gonna jump on and get me, and then the light blew. That's when like pounding my heart is like.
Get near your suitcase. Back up. Yeah, closer, wouldn't it? You're not going to hear it from a distance.
Can we turn all the lights on? I can't see.
Just turn this right behind you. Sorry guys, I'm just helping Becca find a phone.
Also, we're bathroom light.
Yeah, we now got no bathroom lights.
Ring it again.
It's not Becca's fault, but it's totally Becca's fault.
Don't make me cry.
I'm not gonna make you cry.
Boom! Is it in the kitchen? Is it?
Can't find it.
The fuck? Wait, I can hear it. Find it.
Right. Now I'm gonna get on with my stream.
The pile of washing.
Why was it even in there? Do we have any bulbs for the bathroom?
No.
Right, okay. So I have to get a bulb tomorrow.
Hey, the bulb will keep blowing the bathroom blue again.
Yeah, the bathroom keeps blowing. It's not good. Right, so let's start in the hairline, I guess. So let's select the head, and then I'm going to go to descriptions, create, and then I'm going to open, let's not do that one, open this up, descriptions, create description, and I'm going to call this one fur head, because all of the ones that are part of the what would be, you know, the same set of hair in real life, you know, is the hair on your head. So fur head, and I'm just going to put hairline, I think. 01 description. So add description to collection, that's all fine. Randomly cross surface using splines and guides. Cool. Cannot create description. It's right there. It's just because it has no guides. It's confused. Utilities. Curves to guides. Delete curves. And then let's show this beautiful groom. There it is. So we need definitely a high primitive count. What is the hair? Where is it? Hair tied. 140 is the baseline number we're going for, and then we need 0.008 width, which technically is probably a little bit low. So 140, and you need to be 0.008. Then tube shade needs to go off. Preview output, only parameters in view. Then I need to assign the same material as everything else, which is for Pixar hair dark. And then we need to create a density map, so let's create a map. For head, hairline. Did I put capital L? I did put capital L, that's not necessarily great. 01, mask. Go with 30. Because that's the number that seems to be working well for this, and then set this to black. Always create black masks. Cool. I'm not going to worry about value variation yet. I'm just going to paint white. I'm just going to do it where these guides are for now. I have a little bit of overlap with the tied grooms. Not much, but just enough to kind of get some blending. You can't blend if there's no hair connecting them. And then I'm going to ignore this side section for now. I will need to add hair there, but I think for now it's best to ignore it. Do something like that. Save textures, save view. And then I need way more CVs. Let's go with 24 for now. why. Why is it doing that? You're just going to ignore the guides that are around you. Definitely don't need more. What are you doing? Okay. Let's just add our generic taper while we're at it. Why are you like this? And why is it just diving down? Do I need to add a guide like right at the beginning? And pull that up. Do I need to add a guide like here, just doing its own thing? Bit loud. Why is this happening? Okay, I'm gonna try converting this back into curves. So guides to curves, delete. So this should do nothing, right? Cool. So let's just place a single guide. Let's go with this one. Sculpt him into place. That'll do for now, just while I figure out what's going on. Put a guide there. Well, let's just put guides around. Okay, so now if I follow you, doesn't look like it's interpolating at all. Oh, that might be what it was. I think I just realised why it's breaking. Yeah, okay. So what it's doing is it's interpolating between these two guides. It's not necessarily caring that this guide's closer. If I was to put a guide there, for example, and pull that up, if I was just build an impenetrable wall of guides between, that should fix it to an extent. And then I need to do the same here. So basically parting map will fix that. Okay, yeah, so it is pretty much doing what it's told, it's just it's going to require more work than that to get it to actually work. Of course we can just do guide clumping. It's the ultimate kind of fuck you to interpolation. so let's convert the old guides back. So curves to guides. So adding the region map will help, basically. So what I'm wondering now is do I just share the one from the actual head groom? I don't think I should. Let's check the cameras. Yeah, I think I should have my own parting map for this top section. Yeah, I'm going to need to do that. Alright, cool. So, I guess we should get the hairline right first, in terms of actual mask. So let's hide all the groom. This is going to be really quite tricky, actually. So let's unhide that. But then show polygons as off. Oh, what is it that counts as? Show none, show image planes. And what I can do, panels, refcam, show none, show image planes. And what I can do is just paint. What would action count as? It's not, obviously not controllers. Strokes? No? Just out of curiosity, let's just go one at a time and see when hair appears. Plugin shapes. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, cool. So let's show plugin shapes. That's not a good idea. Alright, cool. So you're just gonna have to. What we're gonna have to do is just go into primitives, hairline mask. And I'm going to paint in this monitor on this right screen here. I'm going to watch where the line is. So I need to do something like that, hairline wise. So I can just kind of draw that in. Yeah, let's just check. So I need to remove hair from here. And what I'll do is I'll manually clean it up after I've drawn it in. Cool. Then we got this front, which needs to go a little bit further. Then we got probably roughly the same on this side. Let's just go. Can't really see it that well, so let's just assume it is vaguely the same. Let's just remove that mask from there. Cool. And then let's open U, save textures, and save mask. Right, so now we need to do our new region map. So let's go create map. And then, did I actually name it for, let's go to braid root. Yes, I did actually name it. Alright, cool. So let's go to hairline, create map. 30 should be fine. So let's just do fur head hairline 01 region map. 30 resolution, create. What I'm going to do now is still checking against this one. I'm going to pick a color. Let's just go across. I'm going to draw dots where I see the parting happening. So I can just do that and connect them. And then I can see a parting happening over here, so let's just go there. So it's going like that. And I can just draw a line between those and then just shade that section in. Although I probably chose the wrong color there. So let's just do, see a parting there, there. So I'm going to pick this color and do that with it. Let's go to blue. Parting's happening there. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I don't have any good reference. Like it's pretty poor, the reference I've got at the moment. I'll fix this red patch, don't worry. So that's like going either side of there. Let's just fill in that red patch. I will be extending these lines backwards after the fact. But for now I just need to get them generally right. And then let's just fill that yellow in. This is going to be pretty much entirely the same as the other map, so maybe we should just share the other map. Although I think having the control is going to be helpful, because I guess we will need other sections. And stuff like this won't get moved around the same way that other things will. There's also parting happening here, isn't there? So I need another colour. Let's go with darker blue. And I'm going to assume it goes like that. Yeah, something like that looks about right. Cool. And then the rest of this, I assume, can just be one, because it's all the hairline, it's quite loose past that point. So let's just go with bright pink and do this. And I'll clean those lines up in a bit. And then this is going to be broadly symmetrical. So I'm going to go with green and put that like this. Boop. Cool, we got that in place. I'm going to keep red for this one because it's already red anyway. Let's go with light blue's already been used. Pink is quite far away, so we can use pink. And then we're going to need a parting roughly here, although not really. It's quite a weak parting, so we will have to paint that out a little bit with a map. And let's just pull that forward to there. Actually no, let's pull it up to here. We will be painting out the actual mask in that area, and then we can just pull this all the way down. And then what I need to do is just go in. I'm going to save this temporarily. That is the wrong map. Save you as well. Turn that to 1. There we go. And all I'm going to do is show plugin shapes. Go back into this and extend this. I'm also going to hide the braids, which I need to name. yeah, so we can see where all the colours come in. Cool, we got that. Extend it back. I like to work quite quickly with these sorts of maps just because they're so hard on the eyes. Extend that forward, then extend it back. Make sure to get rid of any patches of red. Pull that back like that. Then let's go with dark blue because that's going to be quicker. Go with light blue. Something like that. Won't need to go any further back than that. Green is next. Fill you in. Fill you back. Cool. Light blue needs pulling forward. So textures. I think that should be fine. No. There we go. Show plugin shapes. And what we're going to need is just get some generic guides down here. Where is the mask? So I'm going to throw a guide right there. Show this again. I'm just going to pick random points in the hairline. So there and there. Do the same on the other side. In fact, I'm going to need guides at the front too. So let's just do there, there. Show this again. I'm going to need a guide here, here, and here. I'm literally putting my fingers on the screen. Here, here, and here. And how far back does it go? Just hairline, right? Yeah, it is. So let's just go there, there, there. You're already covered. There, 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 and there. So in theory, that's enough guides to at least block out the general shapes that we want. It doesn't look good, but it won't for a while. Also, doing that braid has actually fixed the silhouette from the front, so we just need to do a little bit of work and then we're done. I feel like we do need to extend the hairline groom just a little bit. So, now what? Well, now we show plugin shapes. We show, well, show all really. And what I'm going to do is have to hide all the grooms. So let's go braid root. Oh, I also need to show the temp mesh. Drag that back into temp. Is there temp braids in there? Yeah, there is. Braid temp. So let's just go through one groom at a time. Cool. So then let's just go in, set this to not show polygons anymore. And then I can just trace these shapes now. Can't trace this side, so what I'm going to do is work on this side, which we can see a little bit more of, and then copy it over. So first off, this guide right here needs to do something drastically different from the rest. We need him to go all the way down to about there and stay pretty flat to the head for the most part. That needs to be straight, and the whole thing needs to be flat to the head. And grab this guide and do pretty much the same thing. It needs to just follow, but it needs to stay flat to the head while it does it. I don't know what the mechanics of that are, like why it's doing that. Let's normalize this. And hairline. What was I doing? Yeah, normalize. Let's just go into view, camera tools. What I'm going to do as well, I'm going to add a little bit of taper to these. It's in channel box editor, taper. I'm just going to set it to 0.8. And then just clean this guy up a little bit. Something like that. I'm going to bend it a little bit more than it is in the ref, just because I want it to feel a bit more flowy. And then this one I'm going to do much the same. This one can start to pull it up. Well, this actually no, that one needs to go across. Then this one needs to be the one that pulls up. And we need to normalize a lot of these. This is the sort of thing where if I wasn't streaming, I'd have this set up dual screen. So that I'd have one viewport on the left side and one viewport on the right side. Because that would just be so much easier. Like in work, that's the way I'd do it. I need to rebuild all of these as well. Rebuild, let's go to 8 CVs. Which is overkill, but I quite like having more CVs than I need for guides. It allows me to get the really flowy shapes that I'm so obsessed with. Normalize. So we need to figure out an interesting shape here. Normalize that. So you need to do something like this. So I need this to actually pull out a little bit. flat that. Pull in a little bit more there, pull out a little bit more there, and there we go. So that matches the silhouette a bit better. We need this guide to do something a bit nicer too. And the key to this hairline groom is going to be not really the guides, more the density and the clumping. Getting that right is the most important aspect of this groom, I think. That density map's going to need to be pretty intense in terms of the amount of detail in it. So this guide, I'm gonna get the higher. Yeah, we can see that kind of pulling in there. So let's just pull that over, normalize it. I'm just gonna pull it out where I need to. I'm not gonna get rid of how flat it is on the head. I feel like it does need that. You need to be flatter at the root. I guess this hair, strictly speaking, should reach a little bit further. Let's normalize you. And then you need to continue straight across. This is where density maps come in. The density map needs to be really low for this region. In fact, you can literally see a hole there. So it needs to be really low. That hole will be not actually a hole in the density, but more the hairs clumping up into the middle. So it's the same density, but obviously hairs are building up in the middle, so you won't see through it as easily. If you were doing a groom at work, what steps should you take to get to final? The exact same steps I take for personal projects. Exact same ones. I just spend longer on them. One of the key aspects of doing this stuff in an actual kind of studio setting is that you normally have an art director or an asset supervisor, and they just, like, fundamentally the only real difference between home projects and full film pipeline projects is you have an art director. So you've got a source of good feedback, or mostly good feedback, a majority of time good feedback.
What am I supposed to be then?
What, sorry?
What am I then?
No, but what I'm saying is, like, asset supes, that's literally their job. Like, they are absolute experts at giving feedback. They know all the right words, all that stuff.
The cashew shape of the nose.
What, sorry?
The cashew shape of the nose is perfect.
Yeah, I've had some pretty bad feedback from supervisors sometimes, but
Hey, my feedback a lot.
no, your feedback's okay. You just need to learn some words.
Cashew shape of the nose.
I think once you learn anatomy, you'll be an absolute weapon.
I will not, because anatomy does not come with thing words.
Considering you wanted to be a medical student.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can point it out, doesn't mean I know about books or something.
Yeah, but like once you do know how all that stuff works, you'll be an absolute weapon. Because your eye is insane.
You say that, but I think it's just because I have a slightly better eye than you do.
No, your eye is actually really good. Like, you do have a better eye than me, like, that's fine. But your eye is better than you give it credit for. So I'm going to delete all the guides over here. I'm going to mirror these ones. I'm going to need to obviously move all that stuff, but not too worried about that. How do you animate the hair, or basically sim it? So animating hair is something that I've never personally done. And when I say animating hair, I mean like rigging hair. That is something you can do with XGen. If you want to do it, then let me just get a thing up. If you search Shark Tacos XGen. Oh, they've got an animation pipeline for interactive. Nice. But yeah, if you go to XGen, it shows you down, where is it? Here. how to rig hair. So if you want to actually rig it and animate it, this is how you do it. In terms of simulation, it's fundamentally just one thing, which is if you want to simulate your guides, which is how I recommend it because it's the easiest way to do it. I'm also just gonna type up shark tacos next gen or light collab. It goes by 2 names. But yeah, so if you want to sim it, then I recommend simming guides. It's just easier for a simple project. Like if you need to do intricate simulation, it's not the way to do it. But if you don't need to do intricate simulation, then just go into guide animation down here. This tab doesn't exist, apparently. Guide animation, turn on use animation. And if it's set to live mode, when you hit create hair system, it will basically set up a simulation state for the guides. And then attach hair system, and you can kind of, you know, use NHair to simulate it as you would with any other groom system, really. NHair is used quite a lot. Because up until recently with Vellum, it was probably the best in the industry. Vellum's probably overtaken it now. I'm not sure, I'm not a simulation guy. But once you do that, you just cache out the curves, turn off live mode, and you plug in an Alembic cache of the simulation that you did. What is intro set animation? What? I don't know what you mean, intro set animation. It's probably me mispronouncing a word and you interpreting it. So that's on me. But let me know if you give me a brief description of what that is, then I should be able to help. So this needs to go flat as well, I think. So let's just do that. The word you just said. I don't know. I don't know which word. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what word I would have said that would have sounded like interested.
Intricate?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I said the word intricate. Good shout though, just in, like, if that was it, then nicely. Yeah. Oh, intricate.
Aha.
Yeah. I don't think I said intricate animation. Like, I mean, if I said intricate, then I'm not really sure. Oh, wait, that's when I said it. Okay, cool. So intricate animation is like really complex animation. So let's say you had to do a simulation where the hair is combed, or if you need to do a simulation where the hair goes from wet to dry or dry to wet, whatever. You'll need a lot more control in the simulation than guides can give you. You'll need a lot higher count. If that's what you need, then you have to go to modifiers and then go to anim wires. There it is. And that allows you to basically create a secondary groom that is only used for simulation. That's something I've never personally used at all, so I'm not going to talk in depth on it because it'd be pointless for me to do so. Need to have that guy go down. need more CVs, I think. Apparently not. Let's go back down to 24. Just not following because there's not enough guides. So, are we going to do guide clumping? I think we should, really. Yeah, so Oscar, I don't know if you've skipped back forward, but I actually did, I think while you were skipping backwards, I found, like I realised kind of what you meant. So I did explain it, but I'll quickly go over it again. If you have to do intricate animation, what that means is like, if the simulation is really complex. So let's say you have to do a comb going through a hair, or like a really detailed wind simulation, or if you need the hair to part during a simulation and all that sort of stuff, then guides may not be dense enough to get that amount of information for you. So it's best to create an anim wires modifier, and that allows you to create a secondary groom which is simulated, and it gets used to kind of distort the base groom. But yeah, so that's fundamentally what I meant. There's no like special there's no like special source. Like you can't just have simulation work. It's quite a complex process, and you have to decide what will work best for your project, what will work best for what you need. Because normally you can't just use guide sim or just anim wires. You need to use like a blend, or sometimes you do need to hand animate some stuff and then simulate that result. It's stuff that I'm not qualified to talk about, because in my professional career I've never done hair simulation. It's something I'll have to learn, I think, but you know, it's something I've never personally had to do, so I'm not going to talk too much on it, because I don't want to mislead people. Like, if I know my knowledge is limited, I really don't like talking on the topics. Is it the same for wet hair? How would you move wet to dry hair? So going from wet to dry hair, obviously there's not many cases in which you do that, like maybe towel drying. Really, for something like that, for like towel drying, you'd want to switch between two separate grooms, because the change will be very different. It's not just shape, it's also the way it clumps, the way the noises are. Obviously density and width stay the same, but fundamentally the hair looks very different. So you'd want to kind of have either a way to hide it, so like, you know, an object to put it behind and switch grooms, or if you can't do that, then you're going to have to groom in something other than XGen, I think. Maybe XGen Interactive, because it does have layers. Wet hair is actually really easy. You can make hair look wet just by, I mean, you know, very basic wet hair. You can do by just removing noise and making the clumps super tight, and that will look like wet hair. And just move the guides to feel heavier, and that's normally enough. There's a lot to grooming though. There's like so many topics. It's a very complex field, generally speaking. So I think for this groom, I'm going to need to do a mask and density workflow. So I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to call this one mask. I'm going to copy paste all of this. Put that there. Call this one density. Space, 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 space. I'm gonna replace that with density. And then I'm just gonna do alright, so I need to close that. Apply. Accept. No. Paint this guy. He's painted to 0.5, that's okay, I guess. save that. Save you. And then just do mask multiplied by density. There we go. So let's go and paint this. So I am going to paint this to white. Let's flood fill it to white, and then I'm going to go to I'm going to use opacity rather than actual value. Actually, no, that's a really bad way of doing it. So it's back to 1. There we go. Oh, stylus pressure. Oh, isn't that weird? There we go. It would be amazing if you bring someone who knows hair sim to speak about it. Yeah, I mean, I know a few people. Someone I was friends with in uni has done quite a bit of simulation, so I can probably chat to him. It's like 3 different people. There's 2 of them that worked at NPC. One of them has been kind of like doing freelance. So I can reach out and see if any of them are happy to kind of drop in, and maybe we can do like a Zoom call or something and chat. So let's save that. Right, and then let's go in with a value of 0.5. And then all I'm going to do is just go like this. Take down the density in the areas where it matters most, which is around here. Save textures, save texture. And that density is going to need to go even lower. That density is going to have to go insanely low, I think. So let's go down to 0.25. Oh, 0.25. And let's just go in here, paint that hairline back a little bit. It's not really painting it back as much as it's just removing a percentage, which will visually make it feel like it's being pulled backwards. I'm going to pull that in a little bit. Pull that in a little bit. I'm going to need to repaint 0.5. I'm going to check that front ref. In fact, I've got a reference on my other screen. So let's pull this bit in. What time is it? Oh, it's already 20 to 11. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream pretty soon, guys. Save textures. Save textures. And then apparently I need to go in and repaint this. Maybe I didn't paint it earlier. Save textures. Save texture. Can't see what the hair's doing, so I'm just going to have to assume that it's being pulled like that way. This one kind of curls down pretty flat to skin. And then that's way off. I need to pull that straight back. Maybe then it's actually pulling up to here. Let's just pull that way over. Normalize it a few times, play out the skin. So I have to figure out what the hell that's doing. That's still not, I'm still not being brave enough. I need to literally pull it backwards. Yeah, there you can see it. So it looks like it's following that path. Yeah, that was a lot more accurate. Okay, so let's just pull that backwards a little bit to get a nicer curve. Pull that. You need to do more of this. I was way off with these. It needs to be way flatter, way further back, like that, which means you need to be more like that. Let's turn on guide clumping. Modifiers. Let's go to clumping. Set up maps. Guide. So let's show all the other grooms. We're in the stream pretty much here, guys. Looks like it's going to start being pretty accurate soon. I think the next stream is where the head will start to come together. And then I'll have to move back into the model changes that I need to make. Show polygons. Alright, so save the scene. Oh, see you, Cozy. Sorry I didn't see your message. So let's say you have a shot of a run of some running with a watering cannon in his hands. Water splashes out and wettens all surfaces. How do you make the surfaces look like water touches, look wet? So that will be, you'd have to make a animated map for that sort of stuff. There's two ways you can do that. Either you can transfer attributes, where basically you have like a simulated mesh, and as it touches the surface it turns on an attribute. Let's call it wetness. Houdini makes that incredibly easy. Maya, I don't know how you do it. And what you can do is in your shader set up like basically a Photoshop layer, like just something that darkens it and makes it shinier, and plug that into the same attribute, so that as something gets wet, the shader gets darker, it gets glossier, and it gets more reflective in general. Yeah, creating wetness maps is something that's really, really easy to do in Houdini compared to other methods that I know of. I don't know how to do other methods though, so bit Yeah, right, so we got a basic groom in place. Let's save my scene. So select the head, attribute editor, go all the way over to the shader. So skin, turn off diffuse, which is set to grey, turn on subsurface, which is my skin. Set dome light to 137 and switch to the rendering cam. No, rendering cam. And let's start a preview render. And I need to limit it a little bit. Yeah, you could also do it as Littleman says by merging separate shaders. So you can make a wet shader and you can make a dry shader and just do like a layer material and set the blend of that layer material to be a wetness map. You could do it actually with animated textures if you know how to make them, or you could just do an attribute transfer type thing. So let me just compare this. Oh, I'm still rendering it 2K. Feels a bit better. Right, so let's kill that render because I need to render it at 4K because of a stupid idea I had. Yeah, so you can do blend materials or you can do blended textures. Personally, I'd go down the texture route. I think that primarily comes from the days when I used to work in V-Ray, and when I was using V-Ray, blend materials were pretty unoptimized. Like it was really slow to render with them in your scene. So I've kind of always avoided it since then. Yeah, so in terms of using it to merge between grooms, in something like XGen Interactive, you could do that quite easily. XGen Core, I don't know how you can do that. I'm not sure how people do it in XGen Core. So let me just set this to 4K and kick off the final render for the night. Nice Houdini is then for letting it rain. Have a good night and good times you too. See you I guess the weekend. Yeah, so I'll probably, I won't be streaming tomorrow just because it'd be nice for me and Becca to kind of have a night together before she leaves. Friday night, what? Oh, shut up. But yeah, so on. Stop it. But yeah, so on Friday there's a chance I'll stream. I don't know for sure. Saturday I'll probably stream, and I'll probably stream earlier than normal, just because like I won't be doing much in the day anyway. So, and then I'll add extra streams here or there, just because I'll have extra time. Can you like not, Becca? Alright, so let's start a preview render.
I know what I'm gonna do on my Saturday.
What are you gonna do on Saturday?
Gonna go duvet shopping.
Duvet shopping?
Yeah.
Why? Do you not have a duvet at home anymore?
I do, but it's not very nice.
Yeah, right. Right, so I'm gonna head off, guys. I'll be back on definitely on Saturday, maybe on Friday. You'll see on the stream. Obviously, I always like try to set it up so that it says I'll be going live in 30 minutes. So I always start it at 7:30. So just check around that time if you want to watch. If not, then as I always say, enjoy your weekend, all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you guys in the future. Bye.